Welcome back to Luigi's Mansion 3. We're back in Pirate's Cove to use the one-time super move to just break down this area. Again, we went on that whole side quest just to open this up. It's like, yes, game, we know you made a physics engine a long time ago.
So now you have to use super suction to break down this entire
thing,
ship.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me, also every bit of destructible debris in the entire room.
Well, as far as you can go, anyway. There is a limit to how far you can go with this. Stuff clipping through the floor, stuff popping into existence.
But that door will never open, because it is incredibly sturdy.
Extremely. Gar, pirates.
I wish that this floor was a little bit longer, because it is only 3 rooms. It's this room.
Yeah, it's like they didn't have any ideas for this, but liked the idea and just so they kept it in.
I mean, I like pirates. Pirates are fun. I feel like they're I feel like they're one of the more underutilized themes when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like, you know the 1998 Pirates vs. Ninjas internet meme? Or whatever? It's like, we've seen plenty of stuff with ninjas done in video games, but very little done with pirates.
No, it's because there are a lot of different interpretations of ninjas. All pirates just kind of have that one romanticized era of them. I
suppose ninjas were around. Well, actually, I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider a pirate, because pirates, for some reason, are just considered different than normal thieves, for whatever reason, even though functionally they're the same.
It has more to do with just the time period and their methods than anything.
I guess people just like stories where the characters are on boats. I don't know.
I think it's more that the pirates in popular culture are considered more roguish than evil.
Even though they were terrible people.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's not fun if you have to bring up the raping and the murder and the burning and the
pillaging.
Yeah. I think my favorite pirates are on the ship with their laptop with BitTorrent.
I'm going to be getting the next episode of Naruto.
Captain Metallica album off the port bow. Avast, turn up the firewall to 10, me mateys.
Arr, where's me first mate? He's downstairs watching One Piece. One Piece, arr, we'll be here all night.
All night? Wow, he must be late in the series.
How long would it take to cut gems like that?
What, to that specific shape?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a laser cutter, probably.
Yeah, but most things are easy if you have a laser cutter.
Well, I mean, is there any other way that you would cut a gem? I mean, it depends on the mineral itself, but...
Well, if I understand the physics behind it, in order to cut something, you need something as hard or harder, right? So...
Well, sort of. There are things like friction coefficients and a lot of different methods on how you can do it, but generally speaking, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, like they're obviously
that's why diamond is used more in manufacturing than jewelry.
Yeah, I mean, there does have to be a way to do it without the harder things, without things of the same hardness, I guess, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get a diamond cut to begin with in order to cut the things out of diamond in order to use those things to cut more things out of diamond. But yeah, so like I'm sure that there were like special diamond tools that jewelers used way back when in order to cut specific jewelry shapes, but I suppose it was also a lot harder to get the materials back then, so they wouldn't waste it on frivolous crap like making a skull and crossbones.
If you're rich enough.
I mean, yes, but rich people are also kind of boring and don't want anything weird like that. I've kind of noticed. They usually want the same crap they have, but bigger.
It's more so the fake rich people, the people who are rich enough to be able to afford shit, but not rich enough to actually be part of that super elite club.
Oh yeah, so people without taste.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, certainly, like, if people who are, like, extremely absurdly rich, they don't have anything to prove. So they'll have fancy stuff, but also be a little more reserved.
Yeah, they'll have, like, a home theater or something, but they won't have, like, big lights for it or anything.
Yeah, versus if you're not exorbitantly rich, just extremely rich, you're insecure about how much money you have. And so you need to show off just how rich you actually are.
If you had unlimited funds for 3 hours, what would you get in that allotted time?
Stock.
Well, yes.
Which I suppose
stock.
is the boring answer.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, you're not wrong, because it's the only thing you could realistically spend all that money on and have it, like, have either return on investment or exist post the 3 hours.
I guess I'd buy my own private
you
island.
Well, assuming you could just purchase them and not go through all the legalese for things like houses and stuff.
Yeah.
I would buy the company that gave me the opportunity to have unlimited funds for 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, same. But I feel like what's more in the spirit of the question is, like, the old promos for the Toys R Us, like, I forget what it was called, but basically you had a shopping cart in 20 minutes.
And you run through this, yeah.
Supermarkets.
No, that was a game show.
I know, but it's similar in concept, basically, what Ted's getting at.
Yeah.
Well, no, they did do that for Toys R Us, where
Yeah,
like
no,
you
I
won,
always
like the
wanted
kid
to
who
be
won.
part of it.
Well, we were all jealous of that.
Yeah, there's video footage of one kid doing it, and and this is like from the 80s, and you just see him go to the NES games and like don't even look, and he just pulls a whole pile of them.
Well, they're the most expensive things there besides the bikes.
Yeah, but it's just funny to me to watch that. But like if it had to be spent on like stuff that won't like give me the return on investment, so just frivolous crap. I don't know. I know that the one thing that I want to have someday before I die is arcade machines. Like, I would really like to have some.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're not talking about like the arcade 1-up machines, so you can get it like.
I mean, those are cool too. Don't get me wrong.
They're about as affordable as any reasonable person's going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know the right people, you can get them modded. So.
Yeah, and I mean that's all cool, but if I'm not really getting an arcade machine to play arcade games, like, and have like an arcade set up to play a wide variety of them, I'm playing them to have them, I guess, is the thing. So, because I'd want like a Miss Pac-Man and a Galaga and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I want like the old real one, you know. But that's just what I'm going for. If I wanted an arcade cabinet to play like all the old Neo Geo games and stuff like that, I'd want to go for something fan-made that is more easily able to swap out arcade cards and stuff, so I can play basically whatever I want. But those are just two different things for two different needs.
How about you, John? How would you answer that question?
Just get rid of my student debt.
Again, in the spirit of the question of being frivolous as shit.
I don't know. I could Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller.
You could probably afford one of those now.
Yes, but would it be a smart decision? Wait,
Yes.
no, John, review it so you can write it off your taxes.
True.
Look, I love
business-
stupid and
business-
ridiculous controllers, so I really want to find one day. How much is that stupid thing right now, anyway?
There's two of them. Like, I was talking with my buddy Fonz a couple of days ago, and for the longest time, I thought there was only the chainsaw controller for the GameCube version. There's one for the PS2 version, too.
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're not that bad. I'm seeing some go for, like... one person's trying to sell it for $600, which seems like a lot.
No,
But
it's not getting it for that.
yeah, but I'm seeing it for anywhere between $200 to $400, which seems about right for an old.
I mean,
it's
it's expensive for a controller, but compared to other shit, that's doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, like, if you wanted to get, like, the Donkey Kong bongos, you wouldn't be paying that much, but it's also for the novelty of having it, you know, so...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that this boss was a shark.
It's a ghost shark. It's even more deadly. No, it's the most deadliest of all. It's a ghost pirate shark.
With a hook for a hand.
But
Hook
it
for a
doesn't have
fin.
hands. Also, I love the reflective eye patch that it has. Very fashionable. So this isn't something I really ever noticed when I was playing it to begin with, but he flops like a fish when you're sucking him up. That's pretty neat. I'd say this is probably my favorite boss in the game, gameplay-wise, if I had to pick one.
I think it's the most creative.
Yeah, for sure. And
it gets the most out of what you can do in this.
yeah, because you have to, like, there's the traditional ghost-sucking stuff, there's some puzzle elements. There's even some decent dynamic bits later on, too, when you're, like...
Whereas the rest are just kind of stand and wait around for them to do their thing. You can counterattack.
Yeah, typical platformer boss problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Floor possession is not working.
John,
It's nice how the floor repairs itself after he comes out of it, too.
those ghost carpenters really do a bang-up job.
At a wicked fast pace, too.
And yes, you can only do a max 100 health per cycle.
Oh, okay, that has
Because it wants
phases.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I remember looking at the comments, and apparently the bosses in Luigi's Mansion 1 did have a cap to some extent as well.
Yes, it depended on the boss and what you could actually do with them. Some you could kind of get around it by doing certain things.
Like, I know...
Speedrunners mess with it.
Yes, but you're not intended to be able to one-cycle the floor bosses of Luigi's
No,
Mansion
but
1.
apparently it has something to do with, because this is something I didn't really know about, but repeated playthroughs of Luigi's Mansion makes your vacuum stronger.
Yeah, if you do the super mode.
The secret mansion.
Okay, that has
Or the hidden mansion.
something to do with it too.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, the European secret mansion is also different than the American one.
I believe it's harder?
I think there's maybe more changed. I don't remember. I do know that it has more to it, for sure. And that's the version of the secret mansion that they ended up using in the 3DS version of Luigi's Mansion 3DS.
Interesting.
Yeah, and which I feel like I'll probably get one day if it's cheap. We're not at the point where 3DS games are dirt cheap, which I'm really looking forward to when that happens, because the 3DS has a great library, and I'd love to be able to fill out the blanks in it while the games are cheap, but before they're considered retro.
Collectors.
Yeah. You should probably start thinking about that now then.
Well, I feel like we still have a little bit to wait, because it's only been like 2-3 years since the 3DS died.
It'll start happening towards the end of the Switch's life cycle, and places are just desperate to get rid of whatever they have left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, there is, I think the period is taking longer and longer, because PS3 and Xbox 360 games, from what I can tell, are still considered bargain bin, in most places. Like,
Well, part of it is because a lot of them got remasters for PS4 Expo and are still on PC and all that.
Yeah.
that is true.
So anyone trying to get a PS3 version of a game is like, okay, sure, just get it for $2. We just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I feel like it also might have something to do with that. I feel like trading games in became more popular come PS3, Xbox 360 era, because that's kind of when the rise of companies like stores like GameStop existed before that era, obviously, but that was when rentals really started to die out, and instead what people did was buy a game, play it, and then trade it in to get some of their money back on the next game that they bought, which I think might have something to do with why PS3 and Xbox 360 games are so cheap. I feel like maybe people traded those in more. And it also might have something to do with why Nintendo games are still so expensive, because we're all lunatics and we never sell anything.
Impossible,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
confirm or deny that.
I mean, we saw what happened to Sega in all their games and how expensive that shit got.
Well, that's just because Sega stuff's all proprietary and they don't re-release the stuff that people want to play in a meaningful way.
There's ever a point in time where we live long enough to see like all the great Saturn games actually get re-released, then I think Sega can comfortably die happy as a company.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many of them. It shouldn't take that long. Even if they have to do, like, full-on remakes or remasters, like what they did with Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, just re-release Panzer Dragoon Saga. That's it.
That's the RPG one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they re-release that one, then they're probably
That's going to be a
okay.
huge deal if that happens.
I mean, I think if... I don't know how well the remake of it did sales-wise, but if it did decent enough, I suppose it's worth their time to think about it, I guess.
Whichin lies the issue.
There's also the problem that that game doesn't play anything like the other games in its series, which was part of the reason why it didn't sell great to begin with.
Well, Panzer Dragoon was never a juggernaut of a franchise.
No, it wasn't.
It was just their version of Star Fox.
Basically.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. We're going to make a spin-off to this rail shooter high-intensity action game. What kind of game should we make it? How about a turn-based RPG? Genius.
What?
It's almost...
I mean, it did have a lot of lore and fantasy stuff to it, so I guess it made sense.
That same person would then go on to tell Nintendo, you want to know what the fans of your franchise, which is all about slow-paced exploration, wants? A 4-player 3DS Left 4 Dead clone.
What?
The game's actually good, for the record.
Why is Skeletor here?
But yeah, that's the problem. I feel really bad whenever I see a game that's good, but just it's not the game that anybody wants. Unless if it's Paper Mario, then I'm just irritated.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know if that game's good yet, because it's not out yet. But even if it weren't...
I was going to say, even if it is good, I don't care because it's not the game I want.
No. Which I know outwardly sounds entitled, but at the same time, we've been telling them exactly what we want since 2007, and they...
But I think they
haven't.
repeatedly told you guys that they don't care.
Yeah, I know.
So why should I care about their game then that I'm not interested in?
Touche.
Look at Big Foo's face. He's just
Yeah, man.
really annoyed right now.
Because he knows she's going to screw up.
I'm gonna take my Pokemon cards and go home.
He's just so angry in this game, and I love it.
So
Yeah,
at
just
this point,
continues
it's
to
like,
turn
oh,
it-
well, like, I know exactly how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his problem is. He has a fangirl beckoning at his every whim and...
He's not interested in the fangirl at the moment.
I know, but, like... I'm just saying... If I had a fangirl who would be willing to make a haunted hotel for me, I'd rather hang out with her than just be angry and stare at my paintings.
Well, you can't hang out with her until the threat's gotten rid of.
We could just leave. We're ghosts.
I mean, you're also not wrong, so... Alright, we'll see you all in the next part, then.